Hey everybody, Jokerfit here, back with another video. It's been a while. If you watched the last live shows I did way back in January, then you know that I was away at college. I'm currently back for spring break, and just want to do this quick little update video, but primarily I wanted to share my thoughts on Batman v Superman. So, as you know, I would say that generally my channel is focused on Star Wars, just with what has been a huge part of my collecting focus, and also all the great Star Wars YouTubers I've met here on the internet. But if anything rivals my love for Star Wars, it's my love for Batman. The animated series, just growing up with the Nolan films, just love Batman and the DC universe, but primarily most of my love was focused on Batman. And then I was exposed to the Justice League because of Batman. So Batman v Superman is a very important movie for us DC Comics fans because it is not only like are we seeing Batman and Superman together in the same movie, which is insane because first time in their live action history this has happened, but also because it opens up the door for the Justice League. And so yeah, this a lot is riding on this movie. It's out now, so I'm gonna share my thoughts before I get started. I just want to give a spoiler warning. I will be discussing spoilers for the film in this video, so if you haven't seen Dawn of Justice and you want to, then come back later after you've seen it. Or if you don't really care about spoilers, then keep on watching. But yeah. So, first off, as a Batman fan first, how's Batman in this movie? I thought Ben Affleck did a fantastic job as Batman. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. A lot of people have said it. It's been one of this film's primary praises. I believe Ben Affleck is the best live action cinematic Batman. No offense to Christian Bale. I mean, I love the Nolan movies dearly, but it always felt like Christian Bale wasn't really the star. I'd like the best Batman movie, Dark Knight. Heath Ledger is the performance everybody points to, not Christian Bale. And I think he was definitely a bit hampered by doing the the really scratchy gravel voice for Batman, which a lot of people found cartoonish. Um, they definitely decided to go a different route with this Batman. This is definitely, I'd say, the most comic accurate Batman we've had so far, and also like the darkest Batman I think we've had so far, like the most violent, definitely. Um, and a lot of people have been kind of kind of shaky about how they felt about that. Like, for instance, spoilers: Batman does definitely kill people in this movie. There are a few instances like where he just comes in with like the Batmobile or the Batwing, and he's got machine guns, and he's just like blowing up cars full of bad guys. Which, like, a lot of people will get hung up on that and really dislike this Batman for that reason. But I also just want to remind people, like, Michael Keaton's Batman, he definitely killed people. Like, the Batman Returns, one of the first like times you see Batman is he plants a bomb on a clown goon and kicks him over a fence, and then you just see the explosion, and he smiles when he does it. So, like, Batman killing people on screen is nothing new whatsoever. So, and I feel that it really fits with the tone of this movie. Like, Batman's not an aggressive, psychotic killer in this movie. He's just like, he doesn't care really if they do die because of their own actions. So I feel that it fits, and it's not something that I'm really like concerned about. I didn't get hung up on it, but it is very understandable for like hardcore Batman fans. If they did get hung up on it, I would completely understand why. Um, but besides that, Ben Affleck's Batman is amazing, and just like in like the acting is stellar, and like you really feel that like Ben Affleck is Bruce Wayne. Like he really inhabits the character, and the character has a terrific presence in the film. But like just like the action, it's so good. It's so fast paced. I'm a huge fan of the Batman Arkham games, and like when Batman's fighting in this movie, it's like straight from Arkham Knight. It's like just like he's just going everywhere, just beating people, throwing them through walls and stuff, and it flows extremely well, and definitely the action that Batman does in this movie trumps anything from any previous solo Batman film. So Ben Affleck was fantastic. Henry Cavill or Cavill, sorry, I don't know which way to pronounce it, but he returns as Superman, and I still like him as Superman. He still doesn't have like the raw charm that Christopher Reeve had as the character, but that's a high bar to judge somebody by. So I think that he's perfectly good as Superman. And I would say that I like him in this movie more than I did in Man of Steel. And just in general, I like this movie much more than Man of Steel. I feel like Zack Snyder really listened to a lot of the criticisms that people had about Man of Steel. Like, the just like wanton destruction and civilian casualties at the final battle. And just like the bleak tone. Like, this movie definitely feels more entertaining than Man of Steel ever did. Like, Man of Steel is a very bleak movie. I rewatched it just like a couple months ago in anticipation of this movie, and like even like still like going back on it with fresh eyes, I was just like, this is a very bleak, unhappy movie. So I definitely think they brought more, like, just visually, he brought more color into this film. This is a more vivid film, and also there are more moments where there's like some little quips. It's definitely not like Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man funny, where he's just throwing off one-liners like every scene, but it fits with the tone that they were going for, and it fits with this universe that they've created. So it feels like a really logical improvement over Man of Steel. Also, big part, well, not a big part in the movie, but of big importance is the first time in a film that we've had Wonder Woman. So Gal Gadot, I believe, is the actress's name. Like I said, Wonder Woman doesn't really have a whole lot to do in this movie. Like, honestly, they could have completely removed her character and the story would have functioned exactly the same. But it was still really cool, like, seeing her there. And if you've seen the trailer, then like, the money shot where it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman all, like, getting ready to fight. Like, that's the big shot of the movie. And it was breathtaking. As somebody who loves Batman and DC Comics, like, seeing that was amazing. So I'm glad that she was there, if anything, than just for that reason, just for that amazing lineup shot. But as much as I like the film, I would say I have two big complaints about it. First off, there are too many plot threads, I think. There's just so much going on in this movie, and to reference what I think somebody said in another review, it was the Screen Junkies movie review of Batman v Superman, if you follow them. I forget the person's name, but I think they summed it up really well, where they said, like, they have enough story threads in Batman v Superman to fill up at least, like, 3 different movies. And the person went on to say, like, there's a plot thread that acts as a direct sequel to Man of Steel, covering, like, Superman and how Superman dealing with the events of Man of Steel. There's a Batman setup movie, and then there's a Justice League setup movie. And I think that's completely right, because there are definitely a lot of things that set up Justice League in this film, and some of them are really, like, in your face. Like, literally the scene in the movie where Bruce Wayne sends Wonder Woman an email with an attachment with the files on the future Justice League, and it's a bit like on the nose, and especially because, like, the file folder has their, like, superhero symbols on them, even though I'm assuming that at least a few of them aren't superheroes yet. They're just, like, people with these powers. So there's that. So I'm definitely looking forward to the director's cut that Warner Brothers has already said will be released when they do the home video, just to give these plot threads more room to breathe, and just more time to develop. Like, hopefully, I feel like there are some deleted scenes that would really flush out some of these side stories. And my second big problem is that it very much feels like a middle movie, which it is. And I went into this fully expecting, like, okay, you know, there's going to be its own, like, enclosed story, but also a big part of this is going to be setting up Justice League. And it is. Um, but still, that doesn't mean that it's free from criticism. Because I feel like there isn't really a solid ending to it. Like, you don't really feel like the resolution is very strong. Especially with, you know, once again, spoilers, the death of Superman. We we all know that Justice League is coming out, and Superman is like one of the key figures of the Justice League. And so there's like no doubt, like there was never any like conception in my mind that, oh yeah, Superman's going to stay dead. Like literally in the DC like special they did a few weeks ago, they showed concept art for Justice League with Superman like right in the middle. So like that was, you know, I respect it though because they did have Doomsday in the film, and if you're gonna have Doomsday, the whole point of Doomsday is killing Superman. So I you know I see why they did that, but still it felt a little bit unnecessary. Um, and just like the whole way with it ends with Batman, like we need to find the other superheroes or the other, and he's talking to Wonder Woman. Says the other people like you, we need to find them and make them ready to fight. Like it feels like every character already knows that the Justice League, like whatever the main villain is, that is like Brainiac or Darkseid, whoever it is. Like it seems like everybody already knows that it's going to happen, even though they don't. Like, and also Lex Luthor says something to Batman at the end with like, the bell's been rung and throughout space, and they hear it and they're all coming. So it seems like everybody knows that Justice League movie's gonna happen at this point, and it just feels like logically they should have no reason to be like, oh yeah, we need to assemble a superhero team. It's just because the writers know that Justice League is right down the pipe. So like, okay, let's just throw in this line with we're going to assemble a team. So it's definitely less eloquent, I guess, as the Marvel assembling the Avengers Phase One was, which a lot of comparisons are going to be drawn between now the DC extended universe, I think they're calling it. I'm just going to call it the DC cinematic universe and the Marvel cinematic universe. Um, with how they're handling assembling the Justice League as compared to how Marvel assembled the Avengers. And definitely you get the feeling that DC is in a rush to get the Justice League out there. Like, they aren't taking as much time as they probably should have. Ideally, I would have liked to have seen a Man of Steel sequel, a Batman movie, and the Wonder Woman movie before this, like, direct lead in to the Justice League. I feel like that would have been enough time to spread out these story threads that they pack into this one movie, spread it out across those three movies, and then it makes it more special when they all come together, when they all meet each other and face off. But, you know, understandably, DC wants to get the Justice League going, so they don't have, you know, years to just plan out, like, and wait to get to the Justice League. Because, you know, audiences, you know, we already have the Avengers. You know, team-up movies aren't anything new to us now. But overall, I really liked the movie. I liked it a lot more than Man of Steel. I'm not saying it's the perfect superhero movie, and a lot of people have disliked this movie, and I can see why. There are definitely legitimate criticisms for this movie. But I enjoyed it. I thought Ben Affleck as Batman was fantastic. I can't wait to see more of him and to see the eventual Batman solo film that we keep hearing about. And I'm excited for Justice League. I can honestly say I'm really excited for Justice League now. Just seeing all this come together, they're taking steps in the right direction, I think. Course corrections have been made since Man of Steel. And I feel that Justice League is in competent hands now. Whereas after Man of Steel, I had really had my doubts about. I'm not sure if I trust these people to do Justice League, but yeah, I'm really excited for it. And Suicide Squad later this year, I'm super excited for that. You know, uh, once again saw the trailer before the film again with the Queen song, and I'm actually wearing a Joker Bohemian Rhapsody shirt as we speak, so that's a bit. I didn't really plan that out, but hey. So yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to what DC does next with these films. So that's my thoughts on Batman v Superman. Have you guys seen it? What'd you think about it? comment in comment in the comments about it, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the film and what your guys' thoughts are on the future of DC movies. So thank you guys for watching. As always, this is Joker Fett signing out.